No, 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 no. They nigga that took the shit in here. God damn, y'all living like this, boy. Damn. Good morning, good morning. Let me know if you can hear me if you're in the chat. Hey, you saw that video there. I want you to take a look at this text message here. This is gonna be this is gonna be a very easy show for me. Yesterday I talked about the schools, and I probably talk a little. Uh, don't exactly draw the strings there, the connection. But I'm gonna come back to that school topic later. But today will be an easy show, and I should have named it maybe Negro Volleys. I'm not even sure. But I decided to go back through some of the messages and pictures that I've had a chance to take over the years. And I want you guys to just see some of the stuff that I've had the experience of dealing with blacks over the years. And it's been quite amazing, the journey that I've been on. When I first started running these people, I came into it innocently. I never thought that, people would live so differently. And no matter how much education, no matter what station in life, no matter how much money they made, they still, live differently. And I think that's something that people, particularly the people that are trying to make a go of it running in the urban inner cities, you're going to have to figure out how to come up with alternative approaches to dealing with people who have very little conflict resolution skills. So I'm going to walk you through some of the things I've experienced over the years, and I think you're going to get a kick out of these. So what I did was I said, what would really give the best kind of view or color of what it's like dealing with blacks? And so the first thing I did was I said, well, I'll Google fighting in my phone, noise and things like that. And so here's the first picture that came up. It was or the first message that came up. So you can tell this is from a text message here. And if you can see it, the person is saying, and I'm gonna mouse over here if I can. Let's see, where do I? Is that right? So the person is saying, I do apologize for the police coming, but it was one single officer, not two or three. And see, or four, he says. And see, Arian lies the first thing when you're dealing with the Negro mind. Does it matter if it was 2, 3, or 4, or 1? I don't want any police coming to the house. And this is just kind of the logic. You can see the lack of logic here in the message. He admits that the police came. Does it really matter if it was 2 or 3 or 4? If it was 1, that's a problem. I doubt it was even 1, to be quite honest with you. Maybe 1 car. And so he says, it was 1 guy, and he told us he only came because he heard yelling. Well, who's yelling? Why are you niggas yelling? Excuse my language. Why are you yelling? Hey, what's up, Rashu? Rashu in the chat here. Why are the niggas yelling in the house? You'd be amazed how many times I have to tell blacks, hey, keep your noise down. Keep the volume down. You have to talk to them so passively, because any raised language brings out the worst in them. It was only 1 guy, and I'm assuming he's talking about the police. And the police told us he only came because he heard yelling. And the police left. And that's just because the windows was open. Well, here again. Look at the simplistic style of writing. And he left. And that's just because the windows was open. These are high school graduates in many cases. Probably even college graduates in many cases. And just look how they write. We're wasting a lot of money educating these people. I mean, it's truly amazing. Here's another one I got here. Let's see. This one might be very good here. Let's see if I can bring it up here. here's a comment, a text message I got. I was getting some complaints from a guest about one of the guests in another room. I rent rooms, by the way. And the guest was complaining that the couple were fighting or arguing. I can't even remember what it was. So here's the message that I wrote to her. I said, "You and that nigga better settle down or leave." And she says, "Whoa, calling people bitches unacceptable," is what I responded back. She responded, as you can see here, "No need for racial slurs." I responded, "I'm black." And what did she do? She apologized. This is the way you have to deal with these people. You have to talk straight to them. All that mealy mouth talk, the political correct talk, this doesn't work with them. I've never found it to work. The nicer you are to them, the worse off they are. That's just been my opinion. That's been my experience, I should say. Here's another funny that you might find funny here. And again, I just think I just pulled up fighting or something, whatever the keywords are. And you'll see this. This is a text message from a guest. I mean, it just shows you the level of conflict with blacks living amongst each other. All the problems you see on the streets, they're right here. They bring them all inside with them when they go home. Here's a message. When the bitch pulled a knife out, no one said nothing. There and again. Just look at the language. We're spending billions of dollars to educate these people. They can't even put together one sentence with proper language, proper English. When the bitch pulled a knife out, no one said nothing. I'm assuming this is the end of the sentence. When I brought it to your attention, no comma, you ain't say nothing. But as soon as white boy say something, comma, left out. Now it's a issue. I work hard to pay and I don't say nothing or break any house rule just because he got checked for being disrespectful and lying don't mean I'm going to allow that, especially when I'm never even there. That nigga talk about you to me for hours acting like he cool, but then he talking shit about me and doing weird shit. Can you imagine trying to do business or communicate with a nigga that talk like this? You know, you can't, all that education you learn, it goes out the window. You spend half your time, if you educated, trying your best to correct this language. You have to meet these people where they are. If you don't believe what I'm saying to you, look back at this message again. I called her a nigger and told her to calm down, and she ain't said a word. She said, "Okay, I apologize." If I had came to her mealy mouth or soft, you think she would apologize? When the last time you seen niggas out in the street apologizing to anybody? They don't do that shit. You got to be strong. You have to be tough. Here's another message. And again, I'm just scrolling through messages. I did a search on my phone. And so I'm going to pull up some of these messages that I've received over the years. And again, it's truly amazing. Anyone in the comments have questions, anything, feel free to answer your questions. But here's the thing. Another message. Smoking in room and having the police in the house. What the fuck is your problem having the police in the house? That's me. The person responded, I'm actually the one that called them. And when they got there, we told them never mind. It's better English than the last person. The last couple of messages begin. These people call the police out of sport. You said when they got there, they just told the police never mind. Imagine living around these people. What does this do to property value? Police just showing up at your house. Oh, never mind. Just a waste of resources. Hundreds of thousands of dollars we pay the police officers to respond to calls just like this. day in, day out. We called the police. We were fighting. Somebody was fighting. But when they got there, we told them never mind. It almost makes me feel sorry for the police officer. They have to respond to this bullshit every day. But for the landlord, these people inside your property, fighting, and everything else under the sun. Now he goes on to say, and again, these people go out of their way to not punctuate, use any punctuation. And I smoke in the front yard. Maybe it's the girl and her boyfriend, and no one is fighting. It's just an argument. The windows was open, and the cop said that he only. This may be the same person from the last time, and the cop said he only came because he heard yelling. Where would the cop have heard yelling from? But then you can see in the first sentence, the nigga said he called him. But in the last sentence, he said, well, the cop only came because he heard yelling. Which one is it? This is the logic or the lack thereof. When dealing with black, they lie. They lie within the same damn text message. 2 or 3 sentences he wrote me. And before he can finish the text message, he had already contradicted himself. I tell you, every day. The follies of dealing with these black. Let me see if I have another one here. Here's a good one. Let me see if you can see this one. I'm sorry, the name may be showing up here, but that's not a problem. Hi, would it be possible to issue a reminder to guests to keep shared areas like the kitchen and bathroom clean? I entered the bathroom to take a shower, and there was urine all over the toilet seat and tissue on the common ground. You know, I said the other day, I think it was yesterday, one of the things that the blacks suffer from is the tragedy of the commons. You may or may not remember that, but it was a thing that I thought that I've noticed over the years from my understanding of economics, that anytime you have common areas with blacks, it's going to go to shit. Look at a park anywhere in America. Go find a park in a black neighborhood. There's one right around the corner from me. It's Malcolm X and maybe Malcolm X Park. I'm not sure. And at that park, it's always trash, filth, things like that. And you realize that the blacks are willing to sit there in the trash that they throw amongst themselves. And so over the years, I began to realize, like, you just can't give blacks any common spaces other than a bathroom. You give them the kitchen to share, they're going to destroy it. They'll never take out the trash. And I'm going to show you pictures to prove my point. And as a landlord, or any prospective landlords, it's one of the things I always tell the people that are looking to get in the business. Minimize the common space as much as possible, because the common spaces, when renting to blacks, will suffer from tragedy of the commons. It's just the way it is. And tragedy of the commons is a social and political problem in which each individual is incentivized to act in a way that will ultimately be harmful to all. Basically, that's the kitchen. It's the bathroom. If a black person books your place for 3 nights, that last night he's going to piss all over the bathroom toilet. He's going to take a shower and not care how much hair he leaves in the drain, in the tub. He's going to brush his teeth and spit all over the sink, the mirror. Not going to wipe up after himself. So anyway, that's the tragedy of the commons. So anyway, back to the text messages here. Well, I could go on for days and days, and I'll save this content for another time, but let me see if I can pull up some of the other things that just truly amazing over the years. Let's see here. I know where they are here. So I'm going to stop sharing here, and let me go to my photos here. And these, I think you will find hilarious here. Let's see, where's my StreamYard here? But yeah, so any potential landlords, I'm telling you, you really have your hands cut. Your job is going to be very difficult. You have like two hands behind your back, and one of the biggest things is, as I showed you with the text messages, the blacks go to the police to solve all their problems. The police and the government. So in their immediate problems, they go to police. Who wants the police in their home? Disturbing other guests, if nothing else. And on the other hand, if you have a problem with them that requires the government, typically they have no problem showing up for court dates. You know, the inconvenience for them is not what you would expect to be an inconvenience. And so back to some of the qualities of dealing with blacks. When I was growing up, my mother used to tell me like a cluttered mind just can't accomplish much. And you'll see on the entrance to the video that is a stream. I think this is the picture it's showing. Maybe not. That's not the picture. Here's one of the pictures. I had to put this black out recently, and you can clearly see how he's living. Very rough. This is a young man, very young man, and look how he's living. Can you imagine this man working anywhere? Could you imagine this man dating anyone? Could you imagine him moving up in life, progressing in any career? Just look at the pictures. Let's see if I can show you some more pictures. Here's another picture here. Oh, this is a tenant recently that I had to go take a look at her property. Actually, my business partner owns the property. So I show up there to assess a leak. That's what it was. It was a leak. And the lady hadn't had water. I'm sorry, she hadn't had heat in a couple of years. I'm not sure if you can see this picture. You let me know if you can see it. But the leak was coming from behind all of this clutter. And I'll give you the backstory. She was once my tenant. I used to rent this lady. She was on Section 8. And when she got a bigger voucher, she wanted a bigger house, she moved to one of my business partners' places. And she was a hoarder. And above and beyond being a hoarder, she had pit bulls. Amazing. I mean, they were big pit bulls. And that's one of the things about blacks. When you're renting to blacks, you almost have to say no to dogs, service dogs, anything. Like, you have to weed those people out. You can't discriminate against them. But if you have one or two to choose from, you better choose a person with no dogs. So this is a picture of the lady's living room. This is the dining room. And right there to the right, I'll see if I can put my mouse on it. You'll see a cage right there on the floor. You see a bar stool next to it. This lady's house was full, stacked from floor to ceiling. And so I was entering this house, and you see this carpet, and there's water been flowing onto the carpet. The dogs pooping on the carpet, pissing on the carpet. So the house smelled filthy, and there were flies everywhere. And the crazy thing is, the government is paying this lady, paying rent for this lady, upwards of $4,000 to live like this. Let me show you another picture here. That's the Air Jordans. That's not the one I want. Let me see. Here it is. So this is the picture of the basement here. And what you'll see here is stuff packed to the ceiling, stacked to the ceiling. Clothes, containers, shoes, shoe boxes, food, dry food, stacked to the ceiling. And behind this, I'm looking at the correct picture here, is a picture is where the leak is coming from. But the handyman couldn't get to the leak. The leak is coming in from the front of the house. But there are so many things packed up against the front basement wall of the house. He couldn't get to the front of the house to cut the water. So the water is just streaming into the basement. So we had to cut the water off at the street. So for days, she had no water. and didn't even complain until she can move all of these things here out of the way so that the man could access the pipe that was broken. These are the kind of damages that these people can cause merely by virtue of their dysfunctional behavior, the problems that they have in life. I mean, look at how much stuff this is in the basement. We can't even get to the basement. We can't get to the front wall of the basement to access the pipe that's broken. Here's another picture coming up. You'll see just filthy, just totally, absolutely filthy. Here's an urban landlord. Again, it's part folly and it's part sad. And it's, again, very profitable. As I said, my business partner here is getting upwards of $4,000 to house this woman. The government pretty much is throwing up their hands and just throwing money at the problem. And these people, they're living just like this. Here's another picture I want to show you to kind of show you just how blacks live. While it's coming up, just a picture. I bet the person didn't read one of these books, just hoarded them. Maybe they had the intention of reading them, never read them, and just hoarded books. And when they move out, they left all the books. And that's typical when you're into these people. Pretty much everything that they have is disposable, throw away. And so you end up throwing away pretty much everything that they don't want, except for the shoes, their computer. Well, they never have a computer, but their phone. So, look at this picture. Another amazing picture. Just the amount of trash and filth. Let's see. Here's another picture here. So here's a picture of a kitchen, and this is it clearly demonstrates the tragedy of the commons when you rent to black people. You see that the trash once overflowed. No one even took the decency to take it out. And the crazy thing is, the trash receptacle is right out front. Every day they walk out the front door or back door and pass by the trash receptacle. But they never throw it out. I mean, just look at the trash, the pizza boxes. And so when you see on the news, oftentimes, the news will talk about blacks living in slum conditions. You may hear the term slumlords, things like that. But I didn't create these conditions. I didn't fill up their trash can with trash and not take it out. I didn't order that pizza. They ordered all of that and then refused to take responsibility to throw it away. And so you notice in the picture here, the trash can is very small. And this was a picture from years ago when I used to rent rooms, unfurnished rooms. And this is what led me to the progression that you really can't have kitchens for these people because they will totally destroy them. No one will ever take out the trash. And this is a very, very classic example of if you allow blacks to have a kitchen, it will more than likely end up looking like this. I mean, again, if you don't believe me, if you think I'm exaggerating, go to a black neighborhood, ride around the neighborhood, and look at the trash. If they would throw the trash outside, isn't it reasonable to assume that they won't properly dispose of it inside their home? Makes perfect sense to me. Anyway, I have a couple more pictures, and then if anyone wants to hop on the panel, if I see you in the background, I'll add you to the panel. But there's some more hilarious pictures. Here's a hilarious picture from blacks. I was cleaning out a room recently, and a guy, among leaving other things, pretty much everything, he left a jar of piss in his room. And when you see the jar of piss, one of the things that really struck me is like, damn, these people really, really, really are their own worst enemy. Is that if you're going to piss in a jar in your room, you got to lower the standards and say, okay, well, this is what they do. Cool. Why not put the top on the jar of piss? That's the part I don't understand. If I were going to piss in my room, I would at least, if I wasn't going to dispose of it immediately, I would at least put the top on. They don't even have the wherewithal to finish their piss, to complete the job. And you'll see that this guy has a pretty big jar of piss in his room. And there's no top on there. So imagine if he comes in and knocks that over. You think he's going to clean that up? Hell no. I had to clean that up. So clearly he wasn't going to clean it up because he was nowhere to be around. But imagine someone living in a room, and this is a very small room, a twin bed size room, with piss. As an urban landlord, par for the course. It's really par for the course. You know, it happens every day. You know, I'm sure it's happening every day. So one of my tenants right now probably pissing in his room. Too damn lazy to even get up and throw it away once he's done pissing. And I think that's really the bigger issue. Is that it's not so bad that he pissed in the jar. But the fact that he was unwilling to even cap it, take it downstairs on your way out of the house, and just throw it in the trash can. If they're unwilling to do that in their own room, imagine what they would do in the rest of the house or won't do. This is why, if you're an urban landlord, this is a classic picture. I'll put it back up. Oh, that's not even. This is a classic picture of why you have to limit the common spaces. This is classic. If they keep their room like this, there's no way you can allow them to have a front yard, a backyard. You can't sell that to them. They won't respect it. And they will keep it just like this picture is showing. So again, if you want to be an urban landlord, key number one, minimize the common space. Minimize the common space. Anyway, a few more funny pictures and we're going to end the stream. We've been going about 30 minutes. Rashu, feel free to hop on if you like. Again, just another filthy room. Filthy. Oh man, every day. Anyway, this has been a pretty good chat. Not a lot. Well, I have offered some solutions as to what you can do when you're renting in the ghetto and you're facing situations like this where a tenant, you know, they're going to keep you a place like this. You have to limit them to the room. Otherwise, they'll have your entire house looking like this and you won't be able to find renters anywhere else. I have much more. Again, I just did a very shallow search of my text messages and these were some of the first things that come up. So I figured this would be a good start to this stream. Anyway, thank you for joining. If anyone wants to jump in, Rashu, anyone else in the chat, feel free. Otherwise, until next time. I can't remember what's coming up on my next chat. It's probably something about renting to Black people. So it should be interesting. Thanks again.